Have you ever played Monopoly and lost because you didn't own any of the meaningful properties on the board? I mean, Mayfair, Pall Mall, Park Lane. I have. And not only do you end up losing that game, but you end up broke. And in the process, you pick up one of the most important lessons when it comes to finances ever. Kind of like Donnie right here.
Oh my gosh.
Where's all your money gone, Donnie?
Taxes. 9, 10, 11. Let me fix my houses.
It's okay. It's part of the game.
No, it's not fun.
It's not fun to what?
It's the worst part of the game.
Is what?
Taxes.
Now, in all seriousness, they say life imitates art. Well, in this case, a game. But it's important to acknowledge the lessons we can learn from Monopoly and what it can teach us about the difference between being rich, being broke, and why most people, unfortunately, will always be broke without even knowing it. This is the first reason why. Thomas Carlyle once said, "A man without a goal is like a ship without a rudder." For his time, that was quite a fitting quote, and an interesting quote from a guy who advocated the theory that the rule of all life was that life was ruled by inequality. Because of this, he believed that ruling should be left to the most competent members of society, and given when he actually lived, you could probably guess who that would be: the aristocracy. Now, we do live in 2022, so it's probably not the best quote to use, but having a goal that gets us out of bed in the morning is what makes us the dominant species on the planet. Goal setting is an essential tool for self-motivation. It gives meaning to our actions and the purpose of wanting to achieve something bigger. Goal setting helps us envisage future possibilities and is linked to our sense of self-esteem, confidence, and autonomy. If you don't have a goal, it's probably the reason why you wake up in the morning and you feel lost and you can't quite put your finger on why you feel the way you do. Goals direct our actions and open us up to new and exciting possibilities. They help us identify new activities and get rid of irrelevant, unhealthy, unproductive habits in the pursuit of something more. Financial goals are no different. We need money for most things in life, so think about where you want to be in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and set a goal, something that you can actually work towards. Vision board it, write it down, and work out what the financial steps towards your goal is and make a plan from that. And you can start making a plan by fixing reason number 2 why most people will always be broke. A recent survey found that almost a fifth of adults here in the UK have less than £100 in savings, and more than 1 in 10 adults have no savings at all. Now, most people spend their lives going to a job they hate, to answer to a boss they hate, and work with colleagues that, you guessed it, they absolutely hate. That's 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, only to pay bills and to never pay themselves first. Paying yourself first really should be the first task on your list on payday. And sure, you have bills to pay, but most people would find a way to make their finances work if they had to take a 10% pay cut. For example, if you're earning £2,000 a month and you knew that you only had £1,800 to live, you would make it work. You would cut unnecessary expenses. Now, I'm making this video in the midst of a cost of living crisis, and yes, things are tight right now, but ultimately, as an ideal, you should aim to pay yourself at least 10% of what you take home every single month and make necessary adjustments to make that happen. That money can go towards, a safety net for you, helping you work towards your financial goals. It could go into an emergency fund, savings, investments, towards a house deposit, or even becoming debt-free. These are all things that will give you peace of mind, that will give you a foundation to work towards, that will help you generate wealth a bit later on. And we're going to be talking about wealth later on in this video. Marketing teams for several luxury brands have admitted that they don't sell to rich people. Instead, they target middle-class people who want to look rich. And why not? There seems to be a culture right now where people are obsessed with looking rich. On YouTube alone, there are hundreds of videos with millions of views dedicated to that topic specifically. And when you look across social media, it's the same. I mean, think about it. How many times a day do you see content on social media showing you images of luxury watches?
Fucking, how much is their watch, man? I gotta ask, man.
Oh, that one?
Huh?
Oh, that's 18 million.
18 million?
18 million?
Cars, clothes, holidays, restaurants, and what you should supposedly thrive for, or else. How many social media accounts are dedicated to showing off picture-perfect lifestyles, and after being exposed to this onslaught of sandy beaches, fast cars, private jets, and this jet-set lifestyle, you begin to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? And ultimately, when you're in the midst of all of this, you start questioning, is this reality? Am I in the matrix? Am I really living my best life? This is social engineering at its finest, and it's designed to make you feel inadequate and make you feel as though you need to fill this void with items you don't need to impress people you probably don't like and people who definitely don't care about you. The luxury brand business is forecast to be worth $353 billion a year by 2020. So the question is, how many millionaires are you wearing? Whose pockets are you lining at the expense of your own? It can be hard to think about the future when you're living in the present. There's so much importance being placed on living your best life. There's a reason why the terms YOLO and FOMO have become such a cultural phenomenon. But that leads us to forget that life is all about balance. For many people, it doesn't make any sense to waste your younger years planning for a lavish retirement. Some may argue that may never come. However, most people will agree that what makes sense is to find the balance between enjoying the present now and planning for the future. In today's society, that means delaying instant gratification, having a clear vision of what you would like your life to be. Some will call this lifestyle design, where you write down what kind of lifestyle you want for yourself in the near, medium, and long-term future and plan for it accordingly, making choices that are focused explicitly on the lifestyle that you want for the future. Investing is still misunderstood, and even in 2022, it's still considered to be something for the rich and the powerful. Despite there being many ways that you can invest and numerous things you can invest in, like property, investing feels like this closely guarded secret. According to Motley Fool, just 14% of Brits are investing in stocks and shares, though more are keen to get started. According to a recent report, the wealthiest 10% of American households now own 89% of all US stocks. This meant that the top 1% gained over $6.5 trillion in corporate equities and mutual fund wealth during the pandemic. Meanwhile, the bottom 90% of Americans only owned 11% of stocks and added $1.2 trillion in wealth during the pandemic. Now, wealth is created in boom and bust economies, with the wealthy people waiting, planning for the next boom to make it big. Most people are unaware of this though and don't have financial goals. They don't pay themselves in preparation for opportunities like this, and they're too concerned with looking rich than actually doing the things that could actually make them rich. And honestly, this is where I feel the society that we live in today, social engineering and pop culture, really does a disservice to us. And I think it's designed that way. It's designed to make us consumerists. It's designed to make us think with a consumerist mindset. And ultimately, I think wealth is not about a number. Wealth is dependent on your definition of it, and it should be. But more importantly, if you ever think about wealth, it has to start with an ideology. And if you want to learn about how investing actually works, go and have a look at this video right here. That will give you a good foundation to start.